Most heart problems don't announce themselves loudly. They rarely begin with the dramatic scene we see in movies. A person suddenly clutching their chest and collapsing to the floor. In real life, especially after the age of 60, heart problems often start much more quietly. The body sends signals, small changes, subtle warnings, things that seem easy to dismiss. A little extra fatigue, mild swelling around the ankles, getting short of breath climbing stairs you've climbed hundreds of times before, a fluttering feeling in your chest that disappears before you can even describe it. The challenge is that many of these symptoms don't immediately look heart-related. They can easily be blamed on aging, stress, lack of sleep, being out of shape, or simply having a busy week. But cardiovascular specialists consistently emphasize that many serious heart conditions begin with symptoms that appear harmless at first, and the earlier these warning signs are recognized, the more options doctors often have to address them. Today's video isn't about creating fear, it's about awareness. Because understanding what your body may be trying to tell you is one of the most practical things you can do to protect your health and maintain your independence as you age. We'll walk through 6 commonly overlooked warning signs of heart problems in adults over 60, explain why they happen, and discuss when they're worth bringing to a doctor's attention. Then we'll look at what the research actually says about protecting your heart after, including the foods, habits, and lifestyle factors that make the biggest difference. Let's begin. Warning sign number 1. Breathlessness during light activity. Think about an activity you perform regularly. Walking to the mailbox, carrying groceries, making the bed, climbing a single flight of stairs. Most people expect some decline in stamina with age. That's normal. What isn't normal is suddenly becoming noticeably short of breath doing activities that used to feel easy. Many seniors dismiss this change because it develops gradually. Instead of noticing it over a few days, it often develops over months. The body quietly adapts. You slow your pace slightly. You take more breaks. You avoid certain activities. Eventually, the new normal becomes accepted. But unexplained breathlessness can sometimes signal that the heart isn't pumping blood as efficiently as it should. When the heart's pumping ability decreases, the body receives less oxygen-rich blood during physical activity. The result can be shortness of breath, reduced endurance, and a feeling that simple activities require far more effort than before. Heart valve problems can create similar symptoms. So can certain rhythm disorders. Of course, not all breathlessness is heart-related. Lung conditions can cause it. Being physically inactive can contribute. Excess weight can play a role. But here's an important question. Can you identify a clear reason for the change? If not, it's worth discussing with a healthcare professional. One useful strategy is to compare yourself to yourself. Not to someone younger, not to your neighbor, not to your friend. Ask, what could I comfortably do 6 months ago that feels significantly harder now? That comparison often reveals important clues. A gradual but persistent decline in exercise tolerance deserves attention, especially if it's accompanied by fatigue, swelling, dizziness, or chest discomfort. Your body is remarkably good at adapting, sometimes too good, which is why many people don't realize how much their stamina has declined until they look back. Warning sign number 2. Swollen ankles or feet. At the end of a long day, many people notice mild swelling around their feet or ankles. Sometimes it's completely harmless. Standing for extended periods can cause it. Hot weather can contribute. Certain medications can trigger temporary swelling. But persistent swelling deserves closer attention. Why? Because swelling can be related to fluid retention. And fluid retention can sometimes occur when the heart isn't circulating blood effectively. Think of the circulatory system like a network of highways. When traffic flows smoothly, everything moves efficiently. But when flow slows down, congestion develops. Fluid can begin accumulating in tissues, particularly in the lower legs, ankles, and feet. Gravity naturally pulls excess fluid downward. That's why swelling often appears first in these areas. Many people notice their shoes feel tighter in the evening than they did in the morning. Some see visible sock marks. Others find that pressing a finger into the swollen area leaves a temporary indentation. Again, swelling doesn't automatically mean heart disease. Kidney issues can contribute. Liver problems can contribute. Certain blood pressure medications may cause it. But persistent swelling, especially when combined with breathlessness or fatigue, should never be ignored. Pay attention to patterns. Is the swelling becoming more frequent, more noticeable, appearing earlier in the day? A simple observation journal can be surprisingly useful. Doctors often find symptom patterns just as valuable as individual symptoms. The sooner potential issues are identified, the easier they often are to manage. Warning sign number 3. Fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. Everyone gets tired. That's part of being human. But there's a difference between ordinary tiredness and persistent fatigue. Ordinary tiredness improves with rest. Persistent fatigue often doesn't. Many adults over 60 describe it the same way. They wake up tired, they stay tired, and they struggle to explain why. Activities they once enjoyed begin feeling like chores. Motivation decreases. Energy feels constantly low. Family members may assume it's aging. The person experiencing it may assume it's aging, but severe fatigue is not an inevitable part of growing older. One possible explanation is reduced cardiac output. In simple terms, the heart may not be delivering blood as efficiently as the body's tissues require. When organs and muscles receive less oxygen-rich blood, fatigue can become a constant companion. This symptom is particularly easy to overlook because it develops gradually. People adjust, they stop gardening, they walk less, they avoid social outings, they rest more frequently. Without realizing they're adapting to a problem rather than solving it. Persistent fatigue can have many causes: sleep disorders, thyroid conditions, anemia, depression, medication side effects, heart problems. The important point isn't to self-diagnose. It's to recognize that unexplained fatigue deserves investigation. Many people spend years assuming exhaustion is simply part of getting older. In reality, it may be a sign that something treatable is occurring. Warning sign number 4. Irregular heartbeat or palpitations. Have you ever felt your heart skip a beat, or suddenly race for a few seconds, or flutter unexpectedly? Occasional palpitations are common. Stress can trigger them, caffeine can trigger them, lack of sleep can trigger them, but frequent or recurring palpitations deserve attention. One reason is a condition called atrial fibrillation, often shortened to AFib. AFib becomes significantly more common with age. Millions of older adults live with it. Some experience obvious symptoms. Others don't realize they have it until a routine medical appointment discovers it. In atrial fibrillation, the heart's upper chambers beat irregularly and often rapidly. This irregular rhythm can reduce the efficiency of blood flow. It can also increase the risk of stroke. Symptoms vary widely. Some people feel fluttering. Others feel pounding. Others notice dizziness or unusual fatigue. Some experience shortness of breath, and some notice almost nothing at all. That unpredictability is part of what makes AFib important to identify. Modern technology has made awareness easier than ever. Many home blood pressure monitors display irregular rhythm alerts. Smartwatches can sometimes detect abnormal rhythms. These tools aren't substitutes for medical evaluation, but they can provide useful information. If you repeatedly notice irregular heartbeats, bring it up with your doctor. Even if the episodes seem minor, even if they come and go, the goal isn't panic, it's information. Warning sign number 5. Dizziness when standing up. Nearly everyone has stood up too quickly and felt momentarily dizzy. A brief head rush happens. Vision dims slightly, then everything returns to normal. Occasional episodes aren't necessarily concerning, but recurring dizziness deserves attention, especially if it happens frequently. One common cause is dehydration, another is medication side effects. Blood pressure medications can contribute. Certain antidepressants can contribute. Diuretics can contribute. But dizziness can also reflect cardiovascular issues. The brain depends on a consistent blood supply. When blood pressure regulation becomes impaired, symptoms can occur during position changes. Some people experience lightheadedness. Others feel unstable. Some describe feeling as though they might faint. These symptoms increase fall risk. and falls become increasingly dangerous with age. A hip fracture or head injury can dramatically affect independence and quality of life. That's why persistent dizziness shouldn't be dismissed. Simple questions can be helpful. Are you drinking enough water? Have medications changed recently? Does the dizziness occur every time you stand? Does it happen during exercise? Keeping track of details can help doctors identify the cause more quickly. The good news is that many causes of dizziness are treatable once identified. The key is not assuming it's just aging. Warning sign number 6. Jaw, neck, or shoulder discomfort. When most people think of heart symptoms, they think of chest pain, and chest discomfort certainly can be a warning sign. But heart-related discomfort doesn't always stay in the chest. Sometimes it appears elsewhere: the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, the upper back, even the arms. This phenomenon is called referred pain. The brain sometimes interprets signals from the heart as originating from nearby areas. As a result, people may experience unusual discomfort without obvious chest pain. This is especially important for women. Women often experience heart symptoms differently than men. While chest pressure remains common, women may be more likely to report symptoms such as neck pain, jaw pain, unusual fatigue, shortness of breath, nausea, or discomfort between the shoulder blades. The challenge is that these symptoms don't immediately seem cardiac. Many people assume they've slept awkwardly, pulled a muscle, or experienced minor tension. The context matters. Discomfort that appears during exertion, discomfort accompanied by breathlessness, discomfort associated with sweating, dizziness, or nausea. These situations deserve prompt medical evaluation. The body rarely sends warning signals for no reason. Learning to recognize unusual patterns may literally save a life. What actually supports heart health after 60? Now let's shift from warning signs to prevention. Because while some risk factors can't be changed, many can. And the encouraging news is that improvements don't require perfection. Small, consistent habits often produce substantial benefits. Focus on evidence-based foods. Heart-healthy eating isn't about chasing trends. It's about emphasizing foods repeatedly supported by research. Fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, and mackerel provide omega-3 fats. Leafy greens provide vitamins, minerals, and beneficial plant compounds. Beans and legumes provide fiber and protein. Olive oil remains one of the most studied healthy fats in the world. Nuts and seeds can support cardiovascular health when eaten in moderation. The common theme is simple: less processing, more whole foods. Move your body regularly. Movement is one of the closest things we have to a universal medicine. You don't need marathon training. You don't need intense workouts. Walking counts, gardening counts, swimming counts, dancing counts. Consistency matters more than intensity. Regular physical activity helps maintain blood pressure, supports circulation, improves insulin sensitivity, strengthens muscles, and benefits mental health. Monitor blood pressure. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer. Many people feel perfectly fine while their blood pressure remains dangerously elevated. Regular monitoring provides information that symptoms alone cannot. Knowing your numbers allows problems to be identified before complications occur. Prioritize sleep. Sleep is often overlooked in conversations about heart health. Yet poor sleep affects blood pressure, inflammation, metabolism, and recovery. Aim for consistent sleep habits. Address persistent snoring or suspected sleep apnea. Protecting sleep protects the heart. Stay connected. This may surprise some people. Research increasingly links social isolation with poorer cardiovascular outcomes. Human connection matters. Friendships matter. Community matters. Purpose matters. Health is about more than blood tests and medications. It's also about living a life that supports emotional well-being. Closing. The heart works tirelessly every moment of every day. Most of the time, we barely notice it until something changes. The warning signs we've discussed today aren't guarantees of heart disease, but they are signals worth paying attention to. Breathlessness, swelling, persistent fatigue, irregular heartbeats, dizziness, jaw, neck, or shoulder discomfort. Recognizing these symptoms early may lead to earlier treatment, better outcomes, and greater peace of mind. Most importantly, remember this. Growing older does not mean accepting every symptom as normal. Many health problems that seem like aging are actually treatable conditions. Listen to your body, pay attention to changes, and don't hesitate to bring concerns to your healthcare provider. If you found this video helpful, let us know which warning signs surprised you the most. And if you know someone over 60 who could benefit from this information, share this video with them. Thank you for watching, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next video.